You must be wondering, what is she doing? Why is she looking so lost, stumbling, hesitant, confused, full of doubt? Doesn't she know she's supposed to give a speech? Why is she wasting our time? You must be wondering, why is she masked? Why doesn't she just take off her mask? Well, truth be told, I could say the same thing about you. You see, we don't realize that each one of us walks through the day, lives our lives wearing a mask. Mine is just visible. This isn't a performance, my friends. This is a mirror to reflect to you that each one of us wears heavy veils that hide us from our essence. The veils we wear sometimes are invisible. None of you are obviously wearing a mask. Our disguises, however, invisible as they may be, are heavy, not just imprisoning us, not just stifling us, but incarcerating our essence. You do not realize that the person sitting next to you isn't who they really are, but then neither are you. So the question to ask is not why is she wearing a mask or he wearing a mask, but to ask yourself about the many masks you wear through the day. Each one of us doesn't wear just one. We have one for mommy, another perhaps for daddy, one for our lover, and one who we don't love anymore, but can't dare say the truth. From childhood, we have been acculturated to wear one mask after another. Are you uncomfortable a little bit? Perhaps you're waiting for me to take off my mask. It's not easy, is it, to see the truth of who it is we are? Maybe I should take off my mask. Maybe then you will have the illusion of actually seeing who I truly am. But here's the deeper truth. Even if I was to take off my mask, do you think you will be seeing the true me, or perhaps Dr. Shafat? You see, even if I have done the work and show up as my authentic self, the trap is this. You may still be in your false self. And because you are in your false self, you project onto me who it is you are and rarely, barely can see the person before you. And this is what we do to each other. Mask to mask, projection to projection. None of us truly either reveal who it is we are or truly are able to intimately see into who the other's essence is. How can we when we haven't fearlessly, intimately danced with our own soul? To be a future human is to unbecome, is to unmask. It isn't to acquire more, crave more, grasp more. It is to shed, to dissolve, to disintegrate. As Rumi said, our task isn't to look for love and seek it on the outside, but instead to dissolve the barriers we have built against it. So, if you wish to step into your future human self, do you dare to unmask? Do you dare to drop it? As a therapist, I've had the acute privilege, the unbearable honor of guiding souls through their darkest nights, through the aching, throbbing pain of what it means to be a human in this oh so effed up world. And I have noticed that beneath the ache is a common element, an element of abduction. Under each human story has been a story of abduction. Abduction of what? Abduction of our authentic selves. Decisions made, marriages held for years, career choices made, all on the fragile pillars of an inauthentic self. These masks we wear were created in childhood when we never knew any better, from parents who came from pain, who they themselves were stripped of authentic liberty, of choice, of freedom. And they looked at us just like you looked at that mask. And onto the child's mask, they projected their own moods, opinions, feelings, and contoured a fantasy of their own making. The child wishing for nothing else, you and I as children wished for nothing else but to be allowed, unfettered, to unfold into who it is we were meant to be. As the Tao says, when you stop clinging to what you should be, you may reveal who you already are. But we didn't have a chance as children growing up in a society that valued the doing, that valued the achievement, that valued the progress, that valued the status. We were put into this matrix and given roles and traditions and how to be a girl and a boy. And upon our blank slate, so to speak, our essence, came one projection after the other, none of which we had control over. So at an early age, we suffered the abduction of free will, of control, of the freedom to discover all that we could be. This is our legacy. This is how we came. I call it the twin beggar syndrome, that no relationship, unless highly evolved, is one other than that of twin beggars, where each looks at the other hoping to receive. Receive what? Receive all that was lacking, that has been left as a void from our parents. Now, not to blame parents, I'm a parent myself. And each day I realize that we couldn't have done any better. So this is not about blaming or shaming. This is just understanding the isness of our generational legacy. And so, twin beggars, we move into life with our friends and our lovers and our partners, looking, seeking, yearning, clinging to be seen, to be seen, to be seen. And we've created this Instagram and this social media world, which is really an exaggerated mirror of our hunger, our tyrannical need to be seen. And we throb, pulsate with this hunger. So how can we manifest abundance and joy and worth and partnership and love and beauty when from within we have been abducted? So the first place to begin manifesting is to understand that unlike what culture has told us, to look for shiny objects on the outside, the mirage, the illusion, that it is something on the outside to paste on your vision board, to cut out, to seek, to acquire. As long as we buy into that model of manifestation, we will eternally be unsustainably in lack. We will never leave a state of lack because that's how we're originating. That's where we're starting from. So if you wish to manifest your future self, you must begin at the place of unmasking, of unbecoming, of undoing, of dissolution, and of course, of letting go everything you thought you should be and entering all that you could. But without the letting go, without the dissolution, without the breaking down of everything that stands between you and your authentic self, you will not manifest. Vision boards can be created and beautiful mansions can be bought and $1 million can be made every month. But you will still be searching because we are engineered to recover from that original abduction. And unless we understand that our journey in life is to be inward, is to look within, is to attain inner freedom, and that is the ultimate manifestation, we will forever be searching, lost, stumbling, wearing thick masks, impenetrable to ourselves. The greatest mask we wear is the one we hide from ourselves, the one that keeps us from revealing who we are to ourselves. That is the deadliest mask we wear. So let me introduce you to the 5 masks that I believe we wear most commonly. The first one is our mask of perfection. It is this inner hunger to be seen as a complete, fully produced, fully curated entity. And that is why we even say for our children, don't raise a child, raise an adult. We cannot even be with our children as children. We cannot even honor the state of childhood, the 10 most uncontaminated, potentially, years of a human life. And we cannot allow them to have it because we are in this quest for perfection. Perfection means that we are who we are right now, completely broken, damaged, not good enough. We have to become something. You see, the quest is always there, out there, more. So the child who comes into our lives, just like we did to our parents, we are thinking we're full, we're complete, we're whole, untarnished, fully glorious. But then we get another message from our culture, from our parents, and we give it to our children and to our partners that you, as you are, not good enough. And our Instagram mania and social media feeds obsess over the same message, that there is something more, something different, something better. Manically infused with this message, we walk out into the world thinking, oh, yes, I'm going to manifest. We cannot until we unmask this need to be perfect, to be seen as a fully produced human being. Because life, you see, is not about production. Life is not about the perfect curated piece to put for longevity up in a museum. Life is eternally chaotic, unpredictable, impermanent, to be lived only in process, to be lived in flow in the here and now. But this, you see, is unbearable because it's intangible, because it is unquantifiable. And we are a world of data and numbers and evidence and predictions. We need to know. But do we really? And how much knowing can ever bring about the final and inevitable reality of our death? And our inability to accept it will continue no matter what. No matter how much you know, you will still die at the end of this life. So is it to know? Is it to acquire? Is it to collect? Is it to dominate? Or is it to accept? The mask of perfectionism has scorched, burned, and destroyed many of us. I know in my desire to be a perfect mother, I have created such poor choices, not just for myself, but for the child who are used as an object to fulfill my desire for perfection. The next mask is the mask of power. This is a deadly mask worn by most of us, at least in the industrial Western world. It is a mask that believes we need to conquer. It believes that there is a number one. It believes in ranks and hierarchies based on artificial realities of wealth and status and fitting in and how we look to the outside world. This quest for power is what drives our capitalism, which drives our desire to pillage and plunder the earth at all costs. It is this drive for power, to be seen as significant, that wants that corner corporate office, that wants the picture on top of the Forbes magazine. No offense to anyone here who's been on the Forbes magazine. It is that thirst to be seen as dominant, because to be seen as equal or lesser than is unimaginable pain. The next mask we wear most frequently is the mask of pleasing. Most of us women will understand this mask immediately. It's how we were conditioned to please the other, to succumb to the will of the other. So much so, we lost who we were within the first 5 years of our existence, because we were taught that to be a good girl especially, but even the good boys out there, they needed to comply and conform so that your parents could be happy. Just the other day, I was with a client who told me that for all of his 4 children, he did it to please his partner. He said, I didn't even know who I was. I just thought I'm not good enough. So let me just keep producing children to prove my worth. And so he lived his life based on the other's validation, on the other's desire for their perfect life. And this is all of us to some level, instruments, not of our own destiny, instruments for the other's pleasure, for the other's happiness. Mothers, you know what I'm talking about. And then there's the mask of pleasure. What is the mask of pleasure? It is what we see in our current lives around us. The desire for instant gratification, to avoid pain, to run from pain. If there is a painful moment between 2 friends, we will send a voicemail, we'll send a text, we'll avoid, we'll cancel. Because the pain, the brutal pain of intimacy is so terrifying to us, because in those moments of intimate connection, that's when you have to be vulnerable. That's when you have to show up and say, I'm hurt, I'm scared, I don't know. But we cover it up, you see. We cover it up through the seeking of pleasure, through the avoidance of pain. And in that, we rob ourselves of the very elements that make life life. Because what makes life life is the pain and the need to have grit and the messiness and the imperfection. That is life. But look what we're doing to our faces, to our bodies, to our hair, to our existence. We are painting it with this veneer, hoping, again, that somehow the more we paint, the more we disguise, the more we conceal, the more we pretend, death will pass us by. This is the delusion we're living under. And finally, the last mask is the mask of performance. It is the mask upon which America has been built. To do, to make, more. And we live out of this place that it's the grades, and it's the next good thing, and it's the next best thing. And in that doing, we have so split off from our capacity to be present, to be still, to be suspended in the not knowing. To be deeply and fearlessly intimate with the present moment. No music, no frills, no jewelry, no accoutrements, just you deeply embracing who it is you are right now. No alteration needed. In order to unbecome, you have to learn a new way. If you truly want to manifest, not what is on your vision board, a truly conscious vision board, do you know what it would be? Empty. Because that would mean you are complete. No more cars, no more good-looking George Clooney's, no more Santorini vacations. It would simply be an empty space. But in the emptiness is your fullness, is your wholeness, is your completion. Imagine not wanting more, not needing more, but truly being fully present to the here and now with abundance. You see, when we manifest, when we think we need to manifest, we think we need to chase the happiness instead of radiate it. We think we need to seek the love instead of embody it. We think we need to cultivate peace at an ashram instead of being lit up with it. This is the difference between a conscious awakening and a materialistic manifestation. If you want to manifest just like the rest of the world is manifesting, go ahead. Run after every shiny object. Keep thinking that more is better, but you will spiral. This is what our society has become, eternally discontent, obese with the consumption, yet starving for stillness. We are increasingly a spiritually starving generation. So who has the power to change the tide? Are you going to wait for the next symposium, the next seminar, the next amazing teacher? Who? The moment is now and the person is you. So to unmask, let's explore what we need to do instead. So to unmask perfectionism, what do we need to do instead? We need to embrace a radical acceptance of the isness of who you are, of who they are, of what life is. What does a radical acceptance mean? It means you surrender judgment. You no longer resist what is clearly reality. You see reality for what it is. If you're aging, you're aging. I mean, then you can go get a facial. If your partner is not evoking the passion that you desired, it is. If your home isn't where you wanted it to be, it is. Accepting the isness is not a passive acquiescence and a pushovering of your dreams and fantasies. It simply means you begin from a state of non-judgment. Because in judgment, you see, we have an entitlement that it shouldn't be this way. The cancer shouldn't have come to me. I've been so healthy. I should never have gotten a divorce. I'm so loving. My child should never rebel. I'm so amazing. The should comes from a state of entitlement. And it comes from a false state of who it is you are. Because in essence, if you understood that you are not entitled any more than the insect, than the deer, or than the monkey, then you will be liberated from your own inner tyranny to keep changing who it is you are. Now, does it mean you can never improve into version 2.0? Of course. But don't improve from adding things into your life. The most sustainable improvement will come when you deeply connect, radically accept, fully honor and celebrate who it is you already are. You begin there. And it is in that embrace of the ordinary, of the imperfect, that you radically become whole. In order to let go of the mask of power. That mask is a deadly one because it has caused the chaos of our imperialistic world. That mask is worn because we come from a place of needing significance. And we only feel significant if we are at the top of the totem pole. We are dominant. We are better. We are superior. So we wear the mask of superiority. We talk about our salaries and our perks and our benefits and our cars and our achievements. We falsely mistaken our identity for who it is we are. We say things like, I'm a surgeon, and I'm a doctor, and I'm a potter, and I'm an architect, as if that is who you are. Or I'm a mother of 7, or I'm a grandmother, as if that is who you are. None of that is actual, true inner power. True inner power comes from the devastation of identity, from the dissolution of acquisitions, from the letting go of labels. Now that requires courage, because to die onto your need to be powerful, oh, that's hard, Dr. Shefali, I can't do it. That is hard. But unless you see that you are being driven for power, you will never even begin to strip yourself from it. See the mask within you so that you can see it in others, so that you will no longer be bullied, you will no longer be weakened or beguiled by this false mask of power. So dying onto your need for power is where liberation lies, paradoxically. How do we let go of our need to please? This is what we were raised to do, to please the other, to define who it is we are by the other. And the antidote is to manifest inner citizenship. The only citizenship you need is of your inner terrain. Occupy that country. Understand your boundaries. Fully excavate your past wounds. Be the archaeologist in this inner geography. Owning and reclaiming your inner citizenship is your way to let go of pleasing. And when you realize that you're never really pleasing anybody, only their ego, maybe you'll stop. And how do we let go of our mask of pleasure? The only way is to fully understand that it is in the journey of the darkest tunnel, in the most terrifying, painful, treacherous moments of your life, that you are actually being beckoned, being invited, being pulled into your highest potential. None of us are who we are today if it were not for pain that is mind-numbing. If you haven't had mind-numbing pain until now, you haven't lived authentically enough. It is through the shattering of every fantasy you had. It is in the dissolution of every plan you made for your life. There is the potential for your authentic rebirth. So instead of running away from pain, instead of hiding it and coloring it and covering it up, I invite you to lean in. The next time pain shows up at your door, ask it, what am I here to learn from it, from you? What mask do I need to let go of? Who do I need to dissolve and die onto in order to walk through this tunnel of you, of this pain? Alchemizing the pain. Understanding the pain is only here because you are holding on too tight to something you don't know, no longer need. Pain is only here because you're deeply attached to something that isn't serving you. If you let it go, you wouldn't be in suffering anymore. The pain is here because you are clinging too tight. So next time, ask, what can I let go? Instead, what do? We hold on to it. And we know when we hold on to water too tight, it escapes us. So stop grasping at certainty, at a surety, at control, because that's what you want when you say you don't want pain. What you're really saying is, I want control. But there is no control in life. Life is water. The more you try to control it in your hands, the more it will escape. And lastly, how do we let go of the mask of performance? Well, we manifest the true art of being. And to do this, you need to reverse engineer manifestation. So culture tells you that manifestation is, what do you want? Who do you want to be in the future? What can you create in the future? It's based on a future projection of who it is you are. It is based on getting something in your life. But to reverse engineer manifestation is to ask, that house I've put on the vision board in Santorini or in Capri, or George Clooney, who I hope to marry a version of one day. Instead of that, let me ask a different question. Not the what or the where, but who do I need to be to live in that house? Who do I need to be to attract that George Clooney? And then get your ass to the gym. Just teasing. Who do I need to be? As I put away my Doritos, as I turn off my Netflix, who do I need to be in order to live that life that I've put on my vision board? That is the true way to manifest, so that you attract the qualities within you first. And when you do, you become a beacon of all that you wish to attract on the outside. The universe doesn't see what's on your vision board. Your universe couldn't care less how color coordinated your vision board is. The universe only pays attention to your inner alignment. And from this place of inner alignment, then you can take inspired action, because action is the ultimate way to create change. But you cannot take action if it isn't inspired by inner alignment. The Tao, one of the most beautiful books in the world, talks about the Wu Wei, which means to take action, but not from a place of clinging, grasping, lacking, searching, seeking, demanding, entitled, but from a place of flow, where you tap into who it is you are. You befriend deeply who you are, your feelings, your moods, your inner calling, your North Star. And you detach from the noise from the outside world. And from that place, you take action. And the steps you take from that deep, organic inner knowing, that is to walk in Wu Wei, in flow, in complete alignment. Because when you take step after step that emerges from your inner terrain, not guided by the noise and the distractions and the seductions of the outside world, you become a different person. And from that magnet that you are comes your abundance. So reverse engineer everything culture has told you. Change the tapestry of your belief systems. Stop the seeking and searching for more on the outside. Make a decision and a commitment today to change how you show up in the world for you. Don't wait for your partner. Don't wait for your children. They actually don't even exist except in your projection of who they are. The adage goes like this, that the key that you are looking from the outside has always been in your hand. But I beg to challenge that a little bit and take you a little bit deeper. There is no prisoner in your life. You are not a prisoner. There is no warden in your life. There is none. The walls that you believe are your prison only come from your own mind. The walls of fear, doubt, insecurity, imperfection, unworthiness, lack, These are the walls of your inner tyranny in which you are held captive. But they don't exist in the outside world. They only exist within you. So, my dear friends, as you are on the precipice of your future self, you need to ask, do I dare to break down these walls? Do I dare to unbecome all that I think I should be? Do I dare to unmask who it is I truly am? Do I dare to reveal with the absolute naked vulnerability my deepest truth? Do I dare to show up unapologetically naked before you and say, this is me and I am enough? And if you do, you will begin to carve a new tomorrow. No permission needed because there is no one on the outside. There is no one holding you back. So that key that you have in your hand that is supposed to metaphorically open closed doors, I'm here to tell you that that is an illusion. There is no closed door. There is no door. All of it is a figment of your own wounds and your own belief systems and your own fear. So that key, there's no use for it. So you can throw it away. And instead, awaken to the truth that there is no closed door, there is no door, it is just an open space. So the question, my friends, is only this. Are you ready to step through it? Thank you. Thank you.